I'm Jacqueline Morgan, your Mistress of Ceremonies for this event, and we are going to, thank you. I think you can hear me now, I hope. But anyway, we're going to start this event now, and we're going to do that by bringing up Malik Evans, the board president, to bring you greetings.
Good evening, everyone. Give the Marshall Band, Steel Drum Band, another round of applause, please. They did an absolutely phenomenal job, and I'm honored to be able to hear them for the second time during our Black History Month celebration. I was over at East High School when they were performing, when we had what I call the tasting, when our students from the East High School Culinary Institute cooked for us. So thank you again for performing. Thank you all for coming out. As you know, this is our annual celebration that the Board of Education has in terms of our Black History Month. This is our fourth event. We've had 3 others, and they have been absolutely amazing. Raise your hand if you've been able to make it to all 4. For those of you, if you haven't, you missed a treat. It has been an absolutely amazing experience to be able to watch our young people in the community do positive things. So often we turn on the news, open the newspaper, and we see negative images of African Americans. If you just watch the news or listen to the radio or open the newspaper, you would think that all of our young black men and women were doing negative things. So this is why we still have this Black History Month celebration every year, so we can be reminded that there are still positive images of African Americans in the community. For those of you that have not seen the program that this great African American History Committee put together, I think it's telling of where we have come as a people. There's a picture of Frederick Douglass up here in the corner, and if you look at the end, it ends with Barack Obama. I think that says, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I think that this is worth 2,000 words, because it shows that we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, and many of us that are here as board members would not be here had it not been for the individuals that are here, and there definitely would not be an African American sitting in the White House had it not been for the blood, sweat, and tears of the individuals that are on this program. Before I take my seat, Governor Patterson, you all should have in your hand, issued a proclamation proclaiming Black History Month in the state of New York, and President Obama did the same thing. Brother Patterson has some very powerful words towards the end of his proclamation as to why we still do this Black History Month thing. I mean, some people say, oh, wait a minute, Blacks of Progress, why do we still do this Black History Month thing? I always say it's like your birthday. We understand that every single year, 365 days of the year is Black history, because Black history is American history. However, just like you take out and celebrate your birthday for a day, it's important for us to stop and pause and really, really celebrate the achievements of African Americans for 1 month. So that's why we still do it. But Governor Patterson said, whereas the history of Black Americans is an enduring foundation upon which the community stands, and an inspiration to America of all backgrounds, and it serves as a steadfast reminder of the principles that we share as a society, and moreover, a proud example of the spirit of Black America. So that's why we continue to celebrate Black history. That's why the board continues to honor our folks for Black History Month. We have a great program planned for you today. We're going to honor one of our people in the community that have made history today, T. Andrew Brown, and also students who are doing well academically. So I hope you sit back and enjoy the festivities this evening. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, President Evans. At this point, we are going to call Mr. Brazard, the Superintendent of Schools, to bring you greetings also.
Good evening. The Marshall Stills-Benz CD actually is in my car now as part of my collection that I listen to all the time, so thank you. I'm glad to see so many of you here tonight to actually witness the wonderful kids that we have in our district, the kids who have 4.0 averages plus, so I'm glad so many of you guys have come tonight. I'm sure some of you are here for other reasons, but I'm glad that you're here to see our wonderful kids. This morning on XXI was a story about School 12, about this young lady who read a speech, memorized a speech for Frederick Douglass, and talking about her trip to D.C. and her life and the way that her life has changed. Hopefully you caught that, and the wonderful things happening this month across our schools. Last night at the ARM had a meeting at Monroe High School. We talked about the media's approach and about urban education, about African Americans and minorities in the way they're portrayed in the media. It was a spirited and great conversation. We talked about the gratuitous denigration of urban education and how that needs to stop. That we do a lot of wonderful things, but often do not make the front pages of our papers. When we talk about African Americans, I like to remind people as well that Caribbean Americans are also part of Black History Month. When you talk about the country I come from, and for me, that again is a special thing. When you talk about Jean-Jacques Dessalines, you talk about Toussaint Louverture, and the people who freed the country of Haiti, the first Black independent nation in the world, 1804. We can't forget about their contribution to Black history in what we have today in America, because they were part of the revolution and the independence of this country as well. So as we celebrate Black History Month, please remember, it's not just the folks who are in the 50 states. It's African Americans in the Caribbean as well, and in South America and in Central America who should be celebrated, as well as those around the world. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Superintendent Brizard. On your program, it states that the 58th School Choir will be singing next, but because of the space that our wonderful band needed, we're going to have them to come first. What you heard, that was just to get your appetite whetted so you can really hear what they're going to do now. So right now, we're going to call Commissioner Brennan to introduce this great band.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's wonderful to be here with you on this great occasion. Can everybody hear me clearly? Okay. At the risk of being a little bit redundant here, the band you've been listening to is Urban Steel, and it is a professional steel band at John Marshall High School in my neighborhood in the great northwest part of the city of Rochester. And it performs throughout the greater Rochester community. The Steel Pan program at Marshall is partnered with Antigua West Indies in a cultural exchange through the Partners of the Americas. And every year, there's a combined concert, even-numbered years. Antiguan students come to Rochester, odd-numbered years, we go there. The funds to support this exchange are earned by students as they perform around the community. And the members of Urban Steel are very dedicated and very talented, as you have seen here. And they rehearse and perform 12 months a year. They're excellent ambassadors to represent the city of Rochester everywhere they go, and the band is very ably directed by Mary Taylor and Lisa Scott. I have had the opportunity to see Urban Steel half a dozen times now over the course of the past year. They're wonderful. I can never get enough of them. And I'm very happy to present to you Urban Steel.
Who has dedicated 6 years to this band. This kid has worked so hard. heard it before, but gosh, we love it. It just feels like the horses are coming down from the back of the room. It just feels so invigorating. It's called Bailamos, to give credit to our Caribbean fellows. Because we're all one, you know.
That's right. Thank you, Urban Still.
Thank you. Faith, Charles, Lisa Scott, Danielle Taylor, Frankie Bailey. On the other end here with the beautiful braid, Frankie's sister, Faith Bailey. I said Charles. Charles in the middle, Charles in the lead. Ashanti Taylor. We're not all Taylors, it just seems we call it the Taylor Band, and they're all Taylors in there. Shabri Hightower here, and Josh Molina, and Xavier Peterson on drums. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. It's going to take them a couple of minutes to move out, and once they're finished, we will be presented with a 40-voice choir from number 58 school. I think it's amazing to have 48 students who are interested in singing in the choir, and we just have to, give honor to their music teacher for, instilling that in them, that they will want to be able to participate in a group like this. So, and to their parents also, who also help. If it weren't for the parents, also coaching their children to participate in these events, then they wouldn't happen. So we really want to honor the parents also. having a little technical difficulty. I don't know if you can even hear me with the system. I don't think it's working. So we're having a little technical difficulty. So I was asked to wait a few minutes until they give me the signal to make sure that they're picking up everything from the choir. Isn't this a beautiful looking choir though? I mean, just amazing. Sorry for that short delay. Hopefully it wasn't too painfully inconvenient. To introduce this wonderful choir, we're going to call on Commissioner Elliott at this time.
Thank you, Jackie. It gives me a great honor to see all these young people here to perform for us, the Board of Education. And so I want to thank you, first of all, for doing this for us. However, I'm glad that you're not going to have to face some of the social ills that many of us who've gone before you have had to face. There are people who have worked hard, who have given their lives so that you all can be where you are today. When you grow up, the fact that we have President Barack Obama is going to just be a normal situation for you. Has not been for those of us who've gone before us and who have died. There have been people who have wanted to see this day way back yonder. But I believe in heaven, there's this great cloud of witnesses who are ushering us on, and you all and all the other students who are in this auditorium tonight and who are not here, we are passing the baton to you because this fight has not ended. And I would be remiss, we've got a listing of national leaders, but I would be remiss if I didn't let you all know some of the great local leaders who enabled you to be here and me to be here and many of these African Americans to be here. The great Minister Franklin Florence. If it wasn't for him, a number of those people who got jobs at Kodak and Xerox wouldn't have those jobs. He paid a price for that. The Honorable Connie Mitchell, the first African American in the country to be elected to the Board of Supervisors. The great David Gant, who sits in Albany right now for you. And many others, Raymond Scott, the late James McCullough. We have to know our local history because there are people who have gone before us that you need to know about. They've done great things for you because what happens is we always talk about the children. Are the children well is what the question should be. Every time we actually greet each other, our greeting should be, are the children well? Because that's how we know whether or not we have a healthy society, by asking the question, are the children well? Are the children well? Okay. So I bring to you, I have to take this opportunity. Have to take this opportunity. I bring to you this great group, and I know that the faculty, the staff at 58 School have them ready. And I will present to you this choir that is directed by Tim Burdick, and they're going to perform Wade in the Water. They don't even know that's know where that came from, as well as Free at Last. But it is with the intent that you may not know all the meaning now, but as you grow up and find out who you are spiritually and culturally, that these songs will have an impact in your life. I present to you School 58 Choir.
consisting of 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. This is a voluntary ensemble. Students come out of class to join the choir and be part of it. We rehearse once a week, and the dedication level is extraordinary, as you can tell from their quality of sound. I would be remiss if I did not thank the many parents that support the children in this ensemble, the parents that are here tonight. Also to the number of parents who come and support our school board and the work they do. Thank you so much for your efforts. One more number for you. It's kind of a favorite at our school. It's called Free at Last, Free at Last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Sure it is. Yes, it is. You ready?
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Surely confused and I've surely been sold.
Thank you, choir. Thank you for those beautiful renditions. Well done. Well done. As the choir is going back to their seats, we would ask Catherine Wilson of our Office of Administration to prepare to come to introduce and to present our high scholars.
Good evening and welcome. It is a pleasure and honor to stand before you this evening to announce and present this year's African American scholars who maintained a GPA of 4.0 or higher throughout the 07-08 academic school year. The students being honored tonight worked very hard throughout the year to accomplish this remarkable feat. This is not an easy achievement. It requires discipline, determination, and a desire to be the best that you can be, and we say thanks for your hard work and dedication. At this time, I will ask our board president, Commissioner Malik Evans, to come forward to present their certificates. And if we could hold the applause until after each student has been recognized, that would be greatly appreciated. And also, we will ask that each student remain standing up front until all recipients have been acknowledged. From Bioscience and Health Careers High School at Franklin, we have Octavia Rim. Sherlock High School, Santasia Holmes. Octavia? Okay. Octavia. Shantasia? Okay. Dr. Freddie Thomas High School, Laverne Thompson. East High School, Felicia Bevel. Aisha Grant. Damon Thomas. Paul Williams. Okay. And from Northeast College Preparatory High School, Rachel Bruce. School of Applied Technology at Edison, Brooke Johnson. And Tyrell Levert. School of Business, Finance, and Entrepreneurship at Edison, Dwayne Smith. Shamar Thacker. School of Engineering and Manufacturing at Edison, Jordan Rawls. School of Imaging and Information Technology at Edison, James Brown. School of the Arts, Zoe Johnson. Izia Nziku. Carrie Simpkins. And from Wilson Commencement High School, we have Jaleesa McCullough. Shayanna Sims. Jason Usher. Elliot Williams. And Yasmin Wilson. Okay. Could we please give our 0708 recipients a round of applause? Oh. Okay. All right. Now we would ask that all of our board members and our superintendent would please come and shake hands with our scholars. Thank you.
Can we give our high scholars another hand as they take their seats? Thank you. It is an honor, as Catherine said, to be able to recognize these students, and the students have worked very hard to, they had to have an A average throughout the whole school year for each marking period. This wasn't something that they had one marking period that they got all A's. It is just, it's a lot of hard work, determination that they're able to accomplish that. So I just think we need to give them another round of applause. We're at the point in our program where we actually give honor to the person who received the highest GPA in the district of all African American students. And we're going to have Commissioner White to come up to introduce and to present the award to this student.
Good evening. Oh, come on. I do this all the time. Y'all know better by now. Good evening. Indeed, it is a very good evening. I actually have a very bad cold, and you know, celebrating has a way of working through better than NyQuil or DayQuil. And I'm here along with my colleagues and the rest of the family and friends of district students to celebrate African American history. People need to understand, however, that it's not just made by people who Commissioner Elliott mentioned, but it's made daily by you all. Moms and dads, grandmas and grandfathers, students, principals, teachers, administrators, and leaders. Every day that you get up, you work hard, you share your wealth, your joy, your pain with others, you are making history. Now understand, you may not get in a history book. Most of us will not get in history books. But when we parent our kids, when we study hard in school, when we go to work, when we stay out of trouble, when we support the good things that are happening in the community, we are indeed making history. Now, let me say there's a young brother here who is making history. Not that he is a wonderful student, academic student, but he is making history because tonight is his night. Tonight is the night that the media will recognize Dwayne. Dwayne Smith, come on up here. Dwayne, get out here, come on now. Don't be shy. Oh no, Dwayne's not here? My goodness, is Dwayne here? Uh-oh, looks like Dwayne's not here. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. Is Dwayne's parents here? How about Gail Werner, his teacher? Oh my goodness. Boy, now what does a brother do in a situation like this? he probably studying, as President Evans says. I tell you what, let me see. Gotta be somebody out here. No, not Jean-Claude. He gets awards all the time. Let me see somebody out here. I thought I saw somebody out. Where? Somebody, who should accept, who, student rep. No, come on, help me out here. I'm struggling. I need some help. Somebody who's working hard in this community. Who? No, not an administrator. Come on now, help me out. I need, no, also, Commissioner Elliott, talk about time. Who are you, ma'am? Okay, all right, he goes to Edison. Let's give her a round of applause. Now this is really a shame. He is not here. I tell you what, I appreciate you coming up here. Commissioner Campos, come on up because this is your school, right? No. Edison? Tom, come on here. Come on up. Come on, Tom. We got some work to do. Tom, what you doing tomorrow? Not where you want. What you doing tomorrow? You work at the school? What position do you have? Senior school secretary. Commissioner Brennan, he is the leader of liaison to Edison. Tomorrow, you're gonna be there tomorrow, right? I'm gonna share this with you all, but we're gonna go to his school. Can you go there tomorrow with me? Sure. We are, because this is too nice of an award for this brother not to see this, right? You got some time tomorrow? All right. Commissioner Brennan and I are gonna go to the school. We're gonna meet you. You're gonna hook us up, right? You're gonna tell us where the student is at? All right. Let me just describe for you who this student is. This is a great honor for Dwayne. He's not here, but I got to tell you, I'm gonna change the script a little bit. This is a great honor for me. This student has the highest GPA of an African American student in the district. Is that right? Does somebody know what that GPA is? Oh no. 4.38. My goodness. Gail, you're gonna tell him we were applauding, right? You're gonna tell him we were applauding, right? Okay. Dwayne's teacher stated that she can attest to his willingness to do as well in school, at home, and his work experience. Dwayne's attendance is excellent. He participates in class activities, projects, and helps his fellow classmates when needed. As part of his school day, Dwayne participates in work experience project. That gives him the opportunity to go out into the community to work at the Red Cross and the Episcopal Church home several days a week. Again, why don't y'all applaud really loud, because this is being recorded, right? Really loud, one more time for Dwayne Smith. Go ahead. All right, Dwayne, can you hear us? He might be watching. Thank you very much.
Well, Dwayne has two jobs, so I'm going to assume that Dwayne is at work today, okay? And I'm sure he knew that he was going to be receiving this award, but obviously something kept him away, and I'm going to assume that it was work. So at this point, we are going to ask Commissioner Williams to come up so that we can give a tribute to T. Andrew Brown, Esquire.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's recipient is Mr. T. Andrew Brown, and I'll embarrass him a little bit. I'll give you a few words about Mr. Brown and his accomplishments today. He is a 1984 graduate of the University of Michigan Law School and a 1981 graduate of Syracuse University. He is a co-founder and managing partner of Brown and Hutchinson. Mr. Brown has practiced throughout the state of New York in the areas of civil litigation, employment law, and has provided general business counsel to individuals and businesses. He began his practice in law in 1984 in the New York office of Nixon Hargrave. He later relocated to Rochester. Prior to launching his current firm, Brown and Hutchinson, in 1994, he served as a deputy county attorney for the County of Monroe, and he was representing the county in civil litigation matters, while also serving as an advisor to the county executive and other senior county officials. He is also the former general counsel to the National Bar Association, the largest association of attorneys and judges of color in the world. He has been a past member with the National Bar Association's humanitarian delegations to the countries of South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Cuba, with the purpose of advancing equality and democratic principles. He is also the past president of the Rochester Black Bar Association. He is a member of the House of Delegates of the New York State Bar Association, and he is currently the president of the Monroe County Bar Association, and he is the first person of color to serve in this capacity in its 116-year history. Mr. Brown brings a broad and diversified background to the practice of law, including adjunct teaching positions with the State University of New York and past service on many boards and commissions. He has received numerous awards for his business and civic achievements. He was recently named a super lawyer and one of the best lawyers in upstate New York by Super Lawyer magazine. And with all this, I can personally say that he is really a nice guy, except if you have the misfortune of being opposing counsel on a case in court. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. T. Andrew Brown.
Thank you. Alan has taken liberty to embarrass me, so I guess I'll take liberty to say a few words. It's an honor to receive this award, especially during Black History Month. This year we have much to celebrate. January 20th, 2009 provided a great introduction to Black History Month. Some of you may have forgotten the significance of that date. Glad you're still with me. Barack Obama was sworn in as the first Black president of the United States. Cause for celebration. When I think of Black history, I think of the larger scope of Black history. When I think of the earliest times of black history that we find in the history books, going back to the shores of Africa, I think about how families, villages were torn apart when Africans were grabbed up, chained up in slave ships, and forced to live in horrible conditions for the passage. We've come from the days of living in slave ships to the days of living in the White House. What a passage. I think it's particularly fitting to be celebrating black history in a school district. Many historians would make a strong case that it was the United States Supreme Court decision, Brown v. Board of Education, that launched the modern-day civil rights movement, leading to the possibility of a black man to be president. Brown v. Board of Education was a case that dealt with education, equality, and in short, the court said separate but equal is in fact not equal. We stand here today celebrating high achievement, high scholars. I personally would like to take the opportunity to salute all students who have been applauded here tonight. You are the real champions, the champions of our future. As president of the Monroe County Bar Association, let me conclude with saying this. I personally strongly believe in the importance and value of education. And one of the things that I have done throughout my term as president is to make sure that none of my fellow lawyers or judges lose sight of that. And I can tell you that as a bar association, the lawyers and judges of this community will continue to value education, continue to do our part, including placing 100 lawyers at school 29 in a mentoring program. We've done that for the last 16 years, and we'll continue to do it for many, many more to come. To the district and all commissioners who made this award possible, thank you very much, and I look forward to earning the appreciation in days to come.
Before Mr. Brown takes his seat, I'm going to ask the board and the superintendent to please come up and greet him. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming out to support this very important event. And I'd like to thank all of you who came out to, we had 4 events, and I want to thank all of you who came out to support those events also. And at this point, we're going to turn the podium over to President Evans for closing remarks. Thank you.
The only closing remarks I really have, and the board can stay up here, is Jackie Morgan, if you can come back up here, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Morgan, I learned a long time ago that you need to give thanks to the folks that put all this stuff together. The board sponsored these events, but we didn't do any of the work that went into these events. It was Jackie Morgan and her committee. When we stole Jackie Morgan from City Hall a couple of years ago, it was one of the best finds we ever had. And she raised her hand a couple of years ago and said, you know what, the board should be sponsoring Black History Month celebrations, and I want to take the lead on putting it together. So Jackie and her committee did this, and if the other members of the committee could just come up and be recognized. Ms. Aloma Kaysen from the Office of Accountability. Aloma, if you're here, please come up. Come up, Aloma, if you're here. Nicole Crocker, if you're here. I know Nicole's not here. Marilyn Hell, if you're here, if you can come up, please, and be recognized. Rhonda Kirkland, if you're here. Is Rhonda here? Janita Pugh, if you're here. Are you here? Is Jonita here? If you can come up, please. Nairi Strong, is Nairi here? I saw Nairi earlier. Okay, I think she had to go. And then last but not least, Catherine Wilson. I saw Catherine earlier on. On behalf of the Board of Education, I really want to thank you all for 4 events in 1 month. That is no easy feat. And I mean, it was seamless. The only thing we got some certificates out of order, and that was it. And I thought Jackie was gonna have a heart attack. But other than that, it was absolutely seamless 4 events. But it's important that we recognize the people that put the work in, because we don't do that often. And I want to thank these ladies for the hard work that they did. Thank you. And thank you all for coming out tonight. We have a board meeting. Feel free to stay. And to all our students, parents, faculty, staff, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Students.